Hi, everybody. My name is Kara Heinrich. I am a 200-hour certified yoga instructor with the Himalayan Institute. I also work at Nutritional Frontiers. It'll be 4 years in October, which is crazy. Okay, so my name is Kara, and this is Ashley behind me, and we are going to practice an all-level Hatha style yoga right now. So we're going to start first in a standing position, standing in mountain position, Tadasana. So root down through the arches of your feet, lift up the toes, relax the toes. Let's roll the shoulders towards the back of the room. And while you're doing that, maybe you sort of rushed to get the mat here, the lighting just so even in, your little area where you are, just relax. Relax the jaw, unclench the teeth, relax the tongue. Now roll the shoulders towards the front of the room. Okay. Let's raise up the right arm. Nice tall stretch with the right arm. I'm going to side bend to my left. You might do the opposite direction. That's okay. Root down through the left foot. Lift up the right foot. Flex the foot and breathe. Little mini balance. And then bring it back down. Stretch up the left arm, nice tall stretch. And notice if your shoulder's starting to creep up towards your ears, make some space in between the ear and your shoulder, side bend to the right. Root down through the right foot, lift up the left foot, flex the foot, and breathe for 5, 2, and 1. Okay, bring it out. Let's bring our feet just hip distance apart, little micro bend in the knees. We're going to scrape out the barrel, or as I like to say, scrape out the peanut butter jar, and just doing a hip rotation. Making a circle with your hips. I was just saying this morning to Ashley, we sleep, we then get up, we sit in the car, we go sit at our desks, and we sit so much. And as kids, we do a lot of bending and kneeling and running, and we don't, offer that time to circulate within our bodies, our muscles.
You got people downstairs standing up doing yoga.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's so nice. Thank you guys for practicing yoga downstairs. I love it. This is great. Okay, so we got the circles. This is great. Good. I'm proud of you guys. And now we're just going to do a little arms, a swinging of the arms. And you're going to bend the knees. Bend the knees. And, like all of you have dogs. Well, not maybe all of you, but dogs know what to do. When they get up off the floor, they shake their little legs out. They shake their other legs out. They shake their head. You get all the sillies out. Good. All right. Bring the feet, again, hip distance apart, arms parallel to the floor. Let's start with some arm circles towards the front of the room, small arm circles. This is great for the shoulder joints. I'm so proud of you guys downstairs. That's awesome. And let's bring it into a larger circle. Notice the breath and the tip of the nose. Rotate your arms towards the back of the room. Good. All right. And then we're just going to twist. Just so you lift up your heel and let your arms, I just say, sort of like, I have a lot of food analogies. I like to think of spaghetti like this, the cooked spaghetti. Sort of just goes blue, 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 like that. Shake it all out. Good. Okay, standing in Tadasana, before we move down to the mat, let's just do a little neck exercise. Okay, so standing in mountain pose. And then just bring the chin directly down to the neck. Your gaze is looking down at the floor. Lift up the chin. Gently look up towards the ceiling. Bring it back to center. Tip your right ear over your right shoulder. Bring it back to center. Tip your left ear over your left shoulder. And back to center. Let's just gently do a neck roll. Nice, gentle neck roll. Reverse the circle. Good. All right. Let's lift up onto our toes, bend the knees, and we're going to slowly come down to the mat. We're going to come onto our bellies, which might be hard for you guys downstairs. You can join us up here if you want. I've got 2 extra mats. And if you can't, you could just be seated in your chair and just listen to my voice, and you could practice, some diaphragmatic breathing. So we're in crocodile pose. Forearms are up. You're grasping either side of your elbows. Chest is slightly elevated. Toes pointed out in opposite directions. Lower your head into your forearms, excuse me. And now let's just focus on the breath in the belly. And for your folks that are just sitting downstairs in the chair, that's fine. Sit in the chair, but no crossing of the legs. Keep your feet planted on the ground and just focus on the breath in the belly, okay? Or just above the navel center, and just draw in the breath with an inhale and then exhale. Good. Lift up the head. Let's bring the feet in. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Bring your hands, they're at chest level, pressing into the mat. Elbows nice and close to your torso. Tip the chin in towards the neck. You're going to inhale. We're going to come into our first cobra. Inhale and exhale, lift up into like a little mini cobra. And you're really just elevating the top half of your chest for right now. Breathing. And then relax down. Let one cheek come down to the mat. Return your gaze to the mat. Inhale. Exhale, lift up into your second cobra. Breathing. Elbows nice and close to the torso. Pubic bone pressing down into the mat. Tops of the feet press down into the mat. You can feel collective energy at the glutes. And then relax down and let the other cheek come down to the mat. And you can feel some relief through the spine there. Return your gaze to the mat. Inhale, exhale, lift up into your third cobra. And maybe you feel like you have a little bit more energy. This is great activity for the lower spine. And then relax down. And now let's come into child's pose. So you're just going to lift your bum off the mat, bring your knees in, settle your bum down onto your heels, stretch the arms out overhead, lower the head down onto the mat, and breathe. And just notice your abdomen on your lap. Notice the breath in the belly. Maybe even lift up through the fingers. So your finger pads are pressing down into the mat. You're hollowing out your the palm of your hand, which automatically hollows out your armpits. So you feel some activity there through the arm. Good. And then let's come right into all fours. And from here, check your alignment. Take a look at your wrist. Make sure that it's aligned right below your shoulder. Your knees are stacked just below your hips. You look like a tabletop. And from here, we're going to come into cat-cow pose. You're going to inhale, filling up the belly, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhale, shrink the belly towards the spine, rounding the back like a Halloween cat. And we'll do this for 10. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. I've lost count. We're going to inhale and exhale. Come back to a neutral spine. We're going to bring the left knee in just a little bit. Stretch the right leg back. Dig the toes into the floor. Give it a good Renner stretch. Yep. And then elevate that right leg up. Flex the foot. Try not to turn out the right pelvis. It automatically wants to do that. So you try and keep your pelvis parallel to the floor. Lift up with the left arm. Left thumb is reaching up towards the ceiling. I'm engaged through my belly. No slouching of the belly, but creating like a hammock. Woo! And we're going to look down at the mat. And we're just going to breathe here for 5. Good. Let's bring elbow to knee. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. And return down to the mat. Okay. And we're going to bring the right knee in a little bit. Step out the left foot. Dig the toes into the mat. Good runner stretch for the back of the big muscles in the back of the leg. Lift off. Flex the foot. As my friend Susanna likes to say, it's an active fish, not a dead fish. Your foot is like a fish. Lift up the right arm, right thumb reaching up towards the ceiling. Gaze is on the mat so that you have a nice long spine. Keep the integrity of a good spine from the tailbone through the spine, out through the neck, out through the crown of the head. And let's breathe here for 5. Engage through the belly. Good. And then return down to the mat. And let's come right into downward dog. You're going to curl the toes under, lift up the bum, and you're going to just pedal out your heels. Take a look at your hands. Really actively press down through the knuckles of each of your hands, the knuckles of each of your fingers, excuse me. Lift up your heels, settle down into your heels. Feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Shake the head, yes and no. Breathe. Let's bring in the left foot a little bit. Stretch up the right leg to a 3-legged dog. Right now, our pelvis is level, parallel with the floor. But now I'm going to ask you to turn it out a little bit. And what you do is automatically the hip turns out. You look underneath your right armpit, bend the right knee. Good, Ashley. Circle the ankle up at the top. Excuse me. Circle the other direction. And then extend up. Pelvis is now parallel again with the floor. Lift up a little bit more and then bring it down. And we'll do it on the other side. Bring that right foot in just a little bit. Stretch up the left leg. Okay, right now, my pelvis is parallel with the floor. And now I'm going to open it up. I'm looking out underneath my left armpit. I'm bending my left knee. I'm going to circle the ankle up at the top. And breathe. Good. Stretch it back out. Bring that pelvis nice and level with the floor. Bring it back down. Take a look up towards the hands. We're going to take a stroll up towards the hands. Coming into a forward fold. We're just letting our hands dangle right here. Maybe bend the knees and then straighten the legs and feel that stretch all the way in the back of the legs. Walk the fingers like little spiders over to the right side of the right foot. Lift up the left heel. Breathe. Lower down the heel. Walk the fingers to the tops of the toes. Over to the left side of the left foot. Lift up the right heel. Lower down the heel. Walk the fingers to the tops of the toes. We're going to pretend that there's 2 pails of water here. We're going to grab those handles. Slowly come up 1 vertebra at a time. And then bring your hands to heart center. And if you haven't already, let's take a moment right now to just make a silent intention for your practice today. Maybe think of someone that you love, someone who has passed, and think of yourself. Thank yourself for taking the time right now. Good. And then bring the arms to your sides. Let's get warmed up. We're going to do a sun salutation. So we're going to come to the top of the mat. Bring your hands to heart center. Bend the knees. Come all the way up. Reach up. Forward fold like an ironing board. Come up halfway. Hands on the mat. Bring the right leg back. Then the left. Downward dog. Come forward into plank. Engage through the belly. Lower down. Come up into cobra. Curl the toes under. Downward dog. Exhale. Look through to the hands. Right leg forward. Then the left. Greet the sun. Forward fold. Come up halfway. Hands on the mat, left leg back. Then the right. Down dog. Come through to plank. Lower down. Cobra. Curl the toes under. Downward dog. Exhale. Look through to the hands. Bring that left foot forward. Then the right. And greet the sun. One more time. Forward fold. Come up halfway. Hands on the mat. Let's bring the right leg back. Plant the right hand right next to the left foot. Twist the left arm up, reaching it up towards the ceiling. Engage through the right glute. Engage through the belly. Breathe here for 5. And bring it back down. Come back to downward dog. Exhale. Come through to plank. Lower down. Cobra. Curl the toes under. Down dog. Exhale. Left leg forward. Then the right. And greet the sun. Let's do it again. Forward fold. Come up halfway. Hands on the mat. Left leg back. We're going to complete it. We did the twist on the one side. We're going to do it on the other side. Plant the left hand next to the right foot. Engage the left glute. Twist up to the right. Right thumb reaching up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Bring down the hand. Come back to downward dog. Exhale. Come through to plank. From plank, let's just bring down the knees, coming into tabletop. And from here, we're going to do thread the needle, okay? We're going to bring the left hand, just plant it just below your gaze, twist up to the right, and then come down, and you're going to thread the needle and lower down that right shoulder. Breathe. Come back to all fours. Bring that right hand just below your gaze. Twist up to the left. And then thread the needle. Bring that left shoulder down onto the mat. Let the head just rest and breathe. Good. Come back to all fours. From all fours, we're going to transition. Bring that right foot forward. And then we're going to come into a high lunge. From the high lunge, just step a little bit forward and come up. We're going to come right into warrior one. So you're bending your right knee. Check out my knee. It's directly stacked above my right ankle. It's not swaying in, not swaying out. Hips are like 2 headlights facing forward. Raise the arms up, soften the shoulders, engage through the belly, engage the glutes. Breathe here for 5. Good. Bring the arms down. Interlace the fingers, stretch them down that back leg. Open up a chest expander, open up through the heart space. Now we're going to do a humble warrior. You're going to just forward fold. You're going to nudge your torso right next to the right foot. You're lowering your head. Your head is dangling below the heart level. This is called humble warrior. You know, to avoid any gripping with the toe, lift up the toes and then settle them back down. And breathe. So your right leg wants to do all the work here. Try to distribute your weight in between the two legs and do that, managing it with the breath. Breathe. Good. Now, using your weight nicely distributed between the two legs, you're going to lift up your torso. Shake out your hands and bring that left foot forward. Good. Let's do warrior 1 on the other side. So you're going to stretch your right leg back. Bend your left knee. Check your alignment. Check your left knee. It's stacked nicely above the left ankle. Engage the right glute. Engage the belly. Lift up through the arms. Soften the shoulders. Find the breath here for 5. Good. Bring the arms down, interlace the fingers, stretch them down that back leg, chest expander, open up through the heart space, and then forward fold. Nudge your torso right next to your left knee. Dangle the head below the heart. Humble warrior. Check out those toes. My toes want to like grip and grasp for dear life. I don't want them to do that. I want them just to sort of relax, lift them up, and then settle them down. And again, focus on that left leg wants to do all the work. Make the right leg do some work. Supporting your whole structure. Okay. Distribute the weight in between both feet. Lift up. Shake it out. And come up. And just walk it out a little bit. Okay. All right. From here, we're going to come into pyramid pose. So a little bit of a back bend. We're going to bring the right foot forward, the left foot back. It's as if we are on railroad tracks, okay? Bring the arms behind you. Similar to humble warrior, stretch the arms back, lift up through the heart space. So it's almost like you've swallowed a flashlight and it's beaming, you're beaming the light up through your chest, beaming the light up onto the ceiling. And then forward fold like an ironing board. And just come to that halfway point. At that halfway point, you're going to make your adjustments. You're going to tip the chin in towards your neck. Keep a nice long spine. You can lift up through the arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then let go of the hands. And just let the hands frame the shin, and then curl the spine towards that front leg. Feel the stretch in the legs. Breathe. Excuse me. Press through the arches of the feet. Come up to the halfway point. Press through the arches of the feet and come all the way up to standing. And then bring that left foot forward. We'll do this on the other side. Do it on one side, complete it on the other. Bring the right leg back. Again, we're on railroad tracks. Hips are level. Bring the arms behind you. Interlace the fingers. Stretch them down that back leg. Lift up through the heart space. There's that flashlight again, beaming it up towards the ceiling. And now forward fold. Come to the halfway point. Tip the chin in towards the neck. Keep the integrity of a nice long spine. Let go of the hands. Bring the hands down to the shin. And then curl the spine towards that front leg. Breathe. Good. Pressing through the arches of the feet, come all the way up to halfway. From halfway, come all the way up to standing. Good. And then we'll come out and just walk it out. I'm just going to check the time. Okay, we're going to come into triangle pose. So triangle poses. Your right foot will be pointed up towards the short side of the mat. And you're going to step back maybe 3 feet. And it's as if you are on an imaginary balance beam, okay? Your pelvis is open towards the camera, seeing me. Arms parallel to the floor. Soften the shoulders. You're going to tilt the pelvis to the left, reaching out to the right, elongate through the spine, and almost, remember that teapot song? You're just going to tip over like a little teapot, bringing that right hand to your shin or your knee. Stretch up the left arm up towards the ceiling and find the breath. I can see myself already. I'm caving. I don't want to do that. I want to have a nice long spine. And breathe here for 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's bend the right knee, come up to standing. And we'll do it on the other side. Pivot in the right foot, pivot out the left. So now my left foot is pointed towards the other short side of the mat. Maybe readjust your footing here so make sure that you are on that imaginary balance beam. My right toe is pointed up towards the right top corner of the mat. Pelvis is open, arms parallel to the floor. Tilt the pelvis to the right this time. Again, elongate through the spine, tipping over, but trying not to cave. We don't want to do this. I don't want to overcompensate and try and do that. I just want to elongate through the spine, stretch up my right arm up towards 12 o'clock if we're on a huge clock face, and find the breath here for 5. Okay. Bend the left knee, come up to standing, and heel toe the feet together. Where are we? We're doing good. All right. From here, we're going to do Vrikshasana, tree pose. So we're going to stand in Tadasana first. Bend the knees a little bit. Actually, before that, let's do a little mini balance and a knee, we call it a knee swirl. So just standing in Tadasana, root down through the left foot, lifting up the right knee, and pretend that there's a stick in between the big toe and the second toe. We're on the beach, and we're going to draw a circle in the imaginary sand. And this is something, if you are more bound to a chair, this is great. You can just lift up your leg and do these nice knee swirls. This is great for the knee joint. Be careful not to sway out. You see I'm swaying out a little bit. I don't want that to happen. I want to stand up and keep the integrity of a good spine, nice structure here. Reverse the circle. And then bring it down and walk it out. And we'll do it on the other side. Root down through both arches of the feet. Root down through the right foot. Lift up the left knee. There's that imaginary stick. We're on the beach and we're going to draw a circle in the sand. And then we're going to reverse the circle. Hi, everybody. Come on, knee swirls. Good, good. Awesome. I love it. Woo, look at me wobble. Happens. Wobbles happen. Okay, now we're going to do, go to tree pose, Vrikshasana. So standing in Tadasana, we're going to lift up the right foot and turn it out. Place it on the calf muscle or the inner thigh, just not the knee joint. Hands at heart center. Focus your gaze on one unmoving point in front of you. Maybe it's the outlet on the wall. Maybe it's the doorknob. Breathe. Lift up. Grow your branches through your eyebrow space. Bring it out into a nice Y. Soften the shoulders. Benefits of this pose: balance, concentration, regulating the nervous system with the breath. Bring the hands back down. Heart center. Bring the knee to the center of the room and down and walk it out. All right, walk it out a little bit. And we're going to do it on the other side, Vrikshasana, standing in Tadasana pose. Take a breath. Root down through the right foot, lifting up the left foot. Turn it out, place it on the calf muscle or the inner thigh, just not the knee. Hands at heart center. And maybe you find that you become aware of the internal motions of your body through yoga. So maybe one side is more wobblier than the other. Maybe it's better on this side. Who knows? Find the breath. Lift up through the eyebrow center. Grow your branches out into a Y. Soften the shoulders. Again, focus on one unmoving point in front of you. Breathe. Good, and then bring it back down to heart center, knee to the center of the room, and down to the floor, and walk it out. Good, all right. Okay, from here, we haven't done warrior two. That's what we're gonna do. We did warrior one, so now we're gonna do warrior two. Big, strong posture, great for balance. We're gonna bring that right foot forward, pointed towards the short side of the mat. Left foot comes back. Again, similar to triangle in that we're like on that imaginary balance beam. Okay, so if I were to draw a line from this heel all the way back, I would draw, there'd be a marker line like through the middle of my foot. Bend the right knee. Pelvis is open. Arms parallel to the floor. Look out over the right fingertips and find the breath for 5. Lift up the right palm. Come back into reverse warrior, stretching up towards the ceiling. Lower the right elbow. Just let it hover over that bent right leg. Sweep up the left arm. We're coming into extended side angle. So you can see I'm creating a diagonal line, pushing out through the outer edge of my left foot, all the way up through the leg, through the torso, out through the arm. Find the breath here for 5, 3, 2, and 1. And come up to standing. Pivot in that right foot. So now both feet a little bit pigeon-toed, directed towards the long side of the mat. Let's do a nice forward fold. Bring your middle finger and your thumb, place it at the crease where your legs meet your hips. Forward fold. Forward folds are wonderful, nice and cooling to the brain. Let the hands come down. Maybe the hands just dangle. Depends on where you are. It's okay. Maybe they dangle. Maybe they meet the floor. Let the head dangle. Lift up through the tailbone. Breathe. Nice and cooling to the brain. Now let's do a little, bend to the micro bend in the knees and slowly come up one vertebra at a time. And then let's come to warrior two on the other side. So you're going to pivot out the left foot towards the other short side of the mat. Again, just maybe you have to readjust your footing. So again, you're on that imaginary balance beam. Bend the left knee. That knee is stacked above the left ankle. Arms parallel to the floor. Engage the right glute. Engage through the belly. Look out over the left arm, the left fingertips, and breathe here. Lift up the left palm. Come back into reverse warrior. Hi, Kristen. Breathe. Lower down that left elbow. Just let it hover over that left thigh. Sweep up the right arm. Push out through the edge of the right foot, all the way up through the leg, out through the torso, out through the arm and the fingertips. Breathe. And come up. Nice strong postures and heel toe the feet together. Okay. From here, we're just going to do a little transition pose to take us back down to the mat, and we'll do a little bit of abdominals. So lift up on your heels, relax the jaw, unclench the teeth. Nice, steady, quiet breathing. Now let's incorporate the arms to the front of the room and the sides of the room. Okay, lift up to the front and then the sides. Keep up on your toes, bend the knees, wobble on down a little bit. Okay, and we're going to sweep the feet out in front of us, coming into Dandasana, staff pose. So you're just seated. You are sort of like in an L formation. Hips on the floor, nice tall spine. Hands are right at your hip level. We're going to lift up through the arms, soften the shoulders, and then let's just come forward maybe 30%, keeping the integrity of a nice long spine. Try not to curve just yet. Breathe. Now, kneecaps are engaged, feet are flexed. Remember, no dead fish. Feet are active. And now let's curl the spine towards and bring your hands towards your feet or your shins. Let the head dangle towards the knees. You can grab a hold of the feet and breathe. Good. And then look out past the toes, stretch the feet past the toes as if you're going to paint two lines on that opposite wall. Come up, almost like you're reaching towards that wall. Come up and then bring it back down. Good. All right, we're going to do some abdominals. We're going to bring the knees up, slowly ease down onto your back, and then extend your legs out. This is called the Fire Series. It's a nice way to engage the belly, and it was just an alternate leg lift. That's all it is. Feet are flexed. Let's lift up one leg, lower down, and then the other leg. Lift up and up, up, up. Breathing. One more on each side. Good. And then bring the knees in. Place your hands underneath your knees. Curl up like a snowball. And then bring down the whole spine on the floor. And then maybe just massage the sacrum. Little circle here. Excuse me. Reverse the circle. Good. We're going to continue to do some abdominals. This is really, everybody can do this. Even if you don't have a mat at home, you can place a blanket down. We're just going to do it the bicycle pose. So just bringing the elbow to opposite knee, like a piston. Breathing. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Bring the knees in for a squeeze. Bring the arms out into a T. And we're going to come into a nice luxurious twist. Bring the knees over to the left, looking out over the right arm. And breathe. You can even bring your left hand and place it on top of your right thigh. Good. Bring the arms back out into a T. Lift up the legs. Come over to the right. Look out over the left. I'm just going to check the time. And breathe. Look back up towards the ceiling, arms at the T. Come back. And from here, I'm just going to place the feet on the floor. Okay. We're going to do a bridge. First, a pelvic tilt. Your pelvis, this is just an internal movement of shifting your pelvis up and back. Why would we do this? It's creating body awareness. So you're tilting your pelvis up and back and just moving internally, maybe just millimeters up and back towards the chest. Press the feet, glutes into the mat, nice and close to your glutes. Lift up through the hips, coming into bridge. We want the legs to be like two railroad ties, parallel. Don't sway out, don't sway too much in. Breathe. And then lower down the hips. And from here, we're going to do Viparata Karani, a nice safe inversion. This is a great way to reverse the lymphatic fluids. Place a block or a pillow underneath your lower back, your sacrum. You can have it on any height that you wish. You can have it on the middle. I like it right here, nice and safe. Come into a right angle. Good. Lift up the legs, flex the feet towards the ceiling, arms out to your sides. You can even raise your palms up towards the ceiling. And breathe. If you are having trouble sleeping at night, you can always try the sleep time, which is great, but you can also do this. This is something else that you can do. You know, if in the middle of the night your thoughts are racing, you can do this with legs up the wall. It's reversing the lymphatic fluid flow. It's calming to the brain. And then bring the legs down, one at a time. And then from here, I'm going to talk Ashley and all of you down there through a guided relaxation. So, and you can be doing this just seated at right there, down there at your seat. So we're just seated in a nice, comfortable position. You can even take the block and place it underneath your bum or a cushion, just so you're slightly elevated so that your knees are below your hips, or in a corpse pose, Shavasana pose, lying down on your back. Okay. I'm going to take you through a guided relaxation. Starting at the top of your head, use the breath as your guide to flow through the brain, come to the eyebrow center, move the breath towards your temples, through the jaw, to the throat, the heart, navel center, the pelvis, all the way out through the feet, through the legs and to the feet. And let's bring our hands to heart center here. Slight bow towards our fingertips. We are grateful for the good health in our bodies, the clarity in our minds, and for peace. And if you'd like to say the wish for peace with me, you can bring your thumbs up to your eyebrow center and say the wish for peace with me. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. And forward fold to seal in the benefits of your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this is a nice reset for you for your weekend. Enjoy your day.